there, this is Chef Chip from riceandgravy.com with Buttermilk Biscuits. I think everybody remembers the best biscuit they've ever had, and today we're going to learn how to make our own best biscuits. It's a very simple thing to make with just a handful of ingredients, most of which you probably already have in your pantry. Okay, so let's get started. Here we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of coarse salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of buttermilk powder. So let's put all the dry ingredients into the food processor. Don't worry too much if you don't have this machine. It does make it a little easier, but it's not hard at all to do all this by hand. So in goes the flour. And then the rest of the dry ingredients. There's the sugar, buttermilk powder. Okay, so now let's put the frozen stick of, or rather the stick of frozen butter in. Frozen butter just ensures that it doesn't smear into the flour whenever you run the machine. And so we're cutting that up into cubes so that it's a little easier on the machine. Okay, so we have everything in. Let's give it a spin. This is called cutting the butter in. We're going for little tiny granules of butter. The machine runs more smoothly and more quietly whenever it's done. And in goes the liquid. This part's kind of fun to watch because you can see the dough come together and then roll around in the processor bowl into one piece. And that's about it right there. Okay, so let's have a look at this. This is when you know you got the moisture just right. If you get the right amount of liquid, this is how it looks. Not too sticky, just a nice little wad of dough. Okay, so let's flour up the board here. Get the dough out on the board. Okay, here we go. So now, one thing we got to be careful of is we don't want to roll the dough out over and over and over again, because every time we fold it over, while it does make a new layer, it also makes the dough a little bit tougher. So just 3 or 4 times should do it. This is also a good time if the dough was a little sticky when it came out of the food processor. That's usually because of too much liquid, but if it's too sticky, you can just add a little extra flour in between the folds and that should soak up all the extra moisture. Okay, so that seems about right. I like to go for about 1/2 inch of thickness, which for me is just above my index fingernail. Okay, so now let's make some circles. Almost any glass or cup will do. We're looking for about, I would say, between 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter, and the thickness of the glass makes a difference too. An empty 10-ounce tomato sauce can is what I use for years. A cheap wine glass works really well too. But right now I have this 3-inch souffle mold handy, so let's just use this. And don't worry too much about perfect rounds. Biscuits are a rough and ready food. If a small part of the edge gets cut off, no big deal. It'll bake out for the most part. Okay. Now let's roll up these trimmings and make a few more biscuits. Roll it out. Looks like we ought to be able to get 2 more out of this. Let's see. And 1 more. Yep, that's about it. Cut that last bit into a square and that'll do it. So in the oven at 425 and back out at 12 minutes. Look at that. Oh man, that looks so good. Yeah, these came out all right. Look at that. It's just going to separate in the right spot. Alright, let's see how this tastes. Let's put some butter on. Oh yeah, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Alright, let's get some honey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Alright, let's take a bite. Alright, there you go. You can have the rest. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Please visit my blog at riceandgravy.com for the recipe details. And please let me know in the comments how your batch came out.